Up at Jurby Church with Michael and Steve here, who have been organising a major event here. And I have to say, the crowds have turned out today just to look at these beautiful pictures that you've, first of all, coming to you, Michael, you sort of had this idea, did you?
Well, this is part of the ongoing programme we have at Jurby Church to raise funds to save the building, which is 200 years old this year. And one of the big things that when I met Steve and I seen some of his work, I was just intrigued by it and quite moved by some of the images that he had. So when I approached Steve to do it, I was absolutely delighted when he agreed to do it. And some of the facts and the stories behind them and the people who have come to the exhibition have just made it, really.
Fantastic. I know you've got some of your work here as well. We'll talk about that another time, I guess.
Well, I've been influenced by what all they had to paint on, and I've been practicing painting on any old materials, which the type of stuff they would have. Oh. So I've been sort of influenced by some of their work, if you like.
Okay. Steve, where did you come across all these pictures?
I started collecting about 10 years ago, and I bought a couple of the art cards which are on the back wall there, and I was amazed about how good they were, because obviously you think of a POW camp as ones that we've seen, you know, stereotypes in the war, and it wasn't like that at all. These were normal guys taken out of the civilian population in the UK. They just happened to be born in Germany, and they were interned over here, and there was artists, there was professors, teachers, sculptures. As you see on the wall, there was like a famous orchestra that was in the camp, and it just drew me. I went out to the site, and you drive past the site as people walk past it on a parish walk day. People don't know the site's there, and to imagine that there was 25,500 people interned in the camp at the finish of the war, half the population of the Isle of Man, it was his own town really, and it just enthralled me. And then I started collecting the material, as you can see on the wall, and since then it's just escalated to what it is now.
It appears you've got more documentation here of the First World War internment than the Second.
Yeah, the Second World War seems quite hard to come by, really. And I don't know whether there was more censorship. I mean, I know my grandfather was in the police force in the 60s and 70s, and a lot of the documentation was thrown down as myth goes down the Foxdale mines and places like that. So a lot of the information has gone from the Second World War camps. Whether there wasn't the freedom that the guys had in the First World War camp, we don't know. But like you said, it seems to be that Knockalo, and whether it was because of the amount of people that were interned in Knockalo as well. So if people were sending a postcard, there might have been 24,000 sent every week. So maybe that might be something to do. But I don't know really. I'm just looking, because a few comments in the book that we have now say, when are you doing a World War II exhibition? So that might be the next one that we might have to bang our heads together.
With me being here all day, I'm listening to what people are talking about. One of the big things that's cropped up is about this Pilates. Could you just tell us a bit about the Pilates? The Pilates exercise was first.
Oh. It was first in the camp. A German guy basically started to do so when people do that exercise now, as they call it, it was invented in the Knockalo camp. But just what's brought home to me is it's obviously brought an awful lot of interest to the Manx public, and the stories you can't buy them.
No. Like, have you had people who actually got family and friends and connections?
Yeah. The amount of people who've come in here. My great grandfather worked in the canteen. He served the officers. A lady's just walked in the church now, and her father was the grave digger in Peel, and the graves were obviously removed in 1962 of the Germans who were buried in there, and they have recently they were interned after that in Cannock Chase, which is a graveyard in the UK. So just hearing human stories from the camp, you know, I'm going to have to start writing them down, because we'll lose them eventually.
Yeah. How long is this exhibition on for?
It's on until Friday the 25th. Monday the 25th. And it's ran now for the last 10, 11 days, and we've had a lot of people through the doors, haven't we?
You see a different side when you're here all day and you listen to people. It makes it more real. That's what's brought home to me. And I've been intrigued by listening to people and talking to people.
It's a human touch, isn't it?
It's human. Yeah, it's real.
Well done, and we look forward to your next one if you can find enough pictures.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we've got a lot of we've got some ideas in the pile, haven't we?
Because
we've got Douglas Camp on the side there as well, because the Cunningham camp, which was taken over by the government, was a holiday camp before that, as we all know, and that was like a privileged camp on the Isle of Man. So we might be doing the Cunningham camp as the holiday camp after this.
One thing, just before I finish, that people are intrigued by also is the flat pack. The flat packs were made in Nakalo, so I think IKEA owe us a lot. I think they owe us a lot. I think
Just another quick fact as well. I remember seeing you at the Archibald Knox in Braddon Church, and there was the guy there selling his Knox, but Archibald Knox was an actual censor in the camp. He would be reading the letters in and out of the camp, and he'd put a censor mark on them. Now, there is quite a few envelopes around here with censors numbers on 3023, and we're trying to find out now what his censor was, because that would be quite a coup. And there's quite a few art cards that as a few people have said, that's definitely got a Knox's influence on. So that would be things like this, bring it to the forefront, and then people come out the woodwork and say so and so, and it's fantastic.
I'm sure you're going to get more response even from this as well. So don't forget, it's on until Monday up here at Jurby Church, which is celebrating 200 years, by the way, coming up. And we'll be doing much more here to help raise their funds. Keep it going.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.